Hi guys, and welcome back to another video where today we're going to be predicting the scores of week 33 of the 2018-2019 Premier League season. But as always, before we look at this week's fixtures, let's have a quick look back at how well we got on in week 32, or part 1 of week 32, because there's still matches going on this evening, which we will review in next week's video, which will be the predictions for week 34.
So last week I had a very good week. I had 15 points with 4 perfect results, that being Crystal Palace to relegate Huddersfield 2-0, Man United to beat Watford 2-1, Chelsea to beat Cardiff 2-1, even though that, you know, how controversial that rubbish was, and then Arsenal to beat Newcastle 2-0 away from home. At home.
Yeah, and I also had 15 points, Nathan. Like yourself, I had 4 perfect scores. That was the Crystal Palace Huddersfield 2-0 victory there for the Eagles, the 2-1 win for Manchester United over Watford, 2-1 Chelsea away victory over Cardiff, and Liverpool's 2-1 win over Spurs at Anfield. So we both had an excellent week last week. Looking in the comments section, also on 15 was David Redgrift, and I think David's been in the top scorer for about 3 times this season. So David, congratulations. So after last week's splendid predictions by both of us, Nathan and David, you could say, you're now on 222 points, and myself, I'm on a grand total of 241 points. For those of you who are playing along in the Fantasy Football League, here is the top 10. And once again, sorry not sorry, it's top of the shop, managed by Jason Wade. He had a game week points total of 70 points, and he's on 1,961 points overall, closely followed by Klopp of the Cops, who were on 1,940 for the season. Top scorer last week in the Fantasy Football League was Josh Everett, who manages Real Heroes, and he had a great score of 98 points.
Fantastic. Brilliant,
Josh, well done. Nathan, you currently in 38th position, you had 61 points for last week, although there are games still going on this evening, which we'll show again next week. You're on a points haulage now of 1,743 points for the season. And myself, I'm in 34th position, just 4 positions ahead of you. I had 73 points for last week, and I'm on 1,750 points overall. So, you know, getting into the business end of things now of the season. So, can I move up? Can you move up? I don't think we'll reach that top 10, but it's getting very exciting for the end of the fantasy football season anyway, as well as the Premier League. But enough of last week. Let's crack on and predict some scores.
Okay, so first up we have the Friday match between Southampton and Liverpool. Now, Southampton starting to pick up victories, really need to push for just to secure survival now from the Premier League. Coming up against the Liverpool side, who's starting to pick up form. They need to, if they want to be in with a chance of winning the Premier League this season, because Man City are really starting to catch them up. There's no doubt about it that Liverpool's going to win this game. Absolutely no doubt about it. And it's going to be a 3-0 Liverpool win, I reckon.
3-0. I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as that. Southampton playing really well at the moment. I know they're on 33 points, the same as Burnley and Brighton. But looking at Liverpool's away form, they've won 10 away fixtures all season from their 16 matches. So superb away from home. And I think they're going to get past Southampton. It's going to be a narrow win because of Southampton's recent form, and I can see the Reds winning this one 2-1. Next up, we've got Bournemouth against Burnley in the first of the 3 o'clock fixtures on Saturday afternoon. Bournemouth going through a bit of a tricky patch at the moment. They are in 12th position. I think they've only won 1 of their last 6 matches. Burnley having a good victory last week against Wolves, who did really well last night against Manchester United, of course. Is that Bournemouth? Burnley don't travel that well, so I'm going to go for a stalemate in this one, and I'm going to go for a 1-1.
Interesting, yeah. I actually think Bournemouth are going to pick up points here.
Yeah.
Well, they seem to do really well at home, and of course Burnley's away form really not the best, to be honest. I really can't see Burnley winning this one, and I think it's going to be a 2-0 solid home Bournemouth victory. Next up, we have already relegated Huddersfield against Leicester. Now, Leicester starting to turn things around under Brendan Rodgers, doing really well. Huddersfield, of course, being the joint worst ever team in the Premier League, well, getting relegated at with like 7 or 8 matches left, something ridiculous like that. But it's going to be a Leicester win, obviously. Maybe 1 or 2 Jamie Vardy goals. Who knows? But it's going to be 2-0 to Leicester.
Yeah, I totally agree on this one. Okay, Huddersfield, they're down, playing Championship football next season. Leicester full of confidence at the moment, winning 4 of their last 5 matches. I can see them going, it's not that far between Leicester and Huddersfield, and they're going to take all 3 points in this one, and I'm going for 2-0 as well. Next up, we've got Newcastle against Crystal Palace. This is a bit of a tricky one. Newcastle sort of form up and down a little bit. They did have a really good period just a little while ago, but losing their last match, and before that they drew. So in this fixture against Crystal Palace, who have been very good on the road this season, I think they're the 7th, or have the 7th best away record in the Premier League. I think this one's going to be a bit of a stalemate, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this match.
Interesting. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's going to be a stalemate. Both teams strong. Palace strong away. Newcastle really strong at home. Both good sides. Sort of, it's 13th and 14th it is. So, yeah, it's going to be 1-1. Simple. Next up, moving on to Sunday, we have Everton versus Arsenal. Now, Arsenal, 3rd position. Can't even remember the last time they've lost. Such good form at the moment. Doing fantastically. And they're going to come up against an Everton side who, 10th position, started to turn things around after they had that disastrous form quite a few game weeks ago. But unfortunately, Arsenal going up to Goodison, they're going to keep their run going, making sure they secure Champions League football, and it's going to be a 2-1 away from home victory to the Gunners. Yeah,
I think this is probably one of the most difficult matches of the weekend to predict. Everton in good form, although in their last 2 fixtures they played Chelsea, who aren't looking good at the moment, even though they are in 6th position, and last weekend West Ham. And West Ham at the moment, take it from West Ham fans, are looking terrible really. Prior to that, of course, they had a 3-2 defeat against Newcastle away, where they were 2-0 up through that away. A good home draw against Liverpool, 0-0 stalemate, but that was a derby, and prior to that they had a 3-0 victory against Cardiff. So in this match, you would think that Arsenal would win this with their firepower. Aubameyang, Lacazette. I think Aubameyang's been starting on the bench recently as well. Ramsey's in very good form as well. He'll want to finish off his Arsenal career with a bang, of course. But I'm going to actually go for a draw in this fixture, and I'm going to go for 1-1. I think the Toffees at home, coming to the end of the season, they want to finish as high as they can. I think they're kind of full of confidence as well, so I'm going for 1-1. And finally, the last fixture of the weekend, which takes place on Monday evening, is Chelsea against West Ham. Now, Chelsea, what can we say? Very, 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 very fortunate to get anything out of the Cardiff game last week. It was the referee who basically gifted them, or the linesman, I should say, gifted them the match. Rudiger should have got sent off. There was penalties galore. Okay, maybe Chelsea should have had a penalty, but Cardiff should have had 2, possibly 3 as well. 2 penalties. Well, 1, which was a Stonewall penalty, but yeah, they were very lucky to get away with anything at Cardiff City Stadium. They're coming up against West Ham, and West Ham are dire at the moment, away from home. Terrible. So I know that Chelsea this season have only lost once at home, and that was against, I think it was Leicester back in December, 22nd of December, and they lost 1-0. So I can't see Chelsea losing this one. They're up against West Ham. West Ham dire at the moment, so I'm going for a straightforward 3-0 victory to Chelsea in this match.
Interesting. Well,
especially if Hazard plays, because Hazard, he came on and he really looked to play as he always does against Cardiff on the weekend.
Yeah, I've actually gone completely different. I think it's going to be a draw, to be honest.
Really?
Really, yeah. I think West Ham, they've got to start turning it around. I think they are going to.
They're on the beach though. Players don't want to play.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's just something about this one. You can say the same sort of Chelsea as well at the moment. Like when we played them, they looked dreadful. Genuinely,
they looked laboured. They didn't have much spark. William, Pedro.
William was awful.
Tried their best, but their shots were going all over the place. It wasn't really until Hazard came on. Yeah. Higuain. Okay, he held up the ball well, but he didn't really show that much, did he?
No, he didn't do much. But sort of 2 teams in the same boat, to be honest. I can see the odd goal here and there, but I think it's going to be 1-1 straight up.
So that concludes our predictions for week 33 of this 2018-2019 Premier League season. Of course, it's FA Cup weekend as well.
Okay.
So, I think we'll do our predictions for the FA Cup. We won't do a separate video like we did last time. So, first up, we got on Saturday at 5:30, 6th of April. We've got Manchester City against Brighton. Of course, Manchester City about to kick off in about 20 minutes at the time of recording against Cardiff. Aguero currently injured, coming up against a Brighton team who, they're teetering. They're on the edge of the relegation zone in with that little bunch of teams that are on 33 points, Southampton and Burnley. They're at Wembley. They're going to raise their game. I think they're going to score against Manchester City, but I think Manchester City, big game players, are going to come to the fore, and I can only see a victory for the citizens, and I'm going for 3-1.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. I think it's going to be Man City's game, but I think Pep is going to want to make sure that they get a clean sheet as well, just to make sure they get through really into the final and have a chance of winning the quadruple. But Brighton, I think they're going to rest all their players and focus everything on getting into the final.
I think they're going to be resting their players. Rest as in the league, you mean?
Yes, in the league.
Yeah, they won't be resting them in the semi-finals.
No, of course they won't be. But yeah, I think Brighton, they're going to be up for it. I don't think it'll be like 5-0, 6-0, something ridiculous. Man City will get through, but Brighton will put up a good fight, and I think it's going to be 3-0.
Yeah, it could be like 1-1, and from my point of view, to the 80th minute anyway, and then they're just going to turn the screw. Okay, second fixture, the second semi-final is Watford against Wolves, and this takes place on Sunday at 4 o'clock. So at Wembley, all those Wolves fans, if they are coming from Wolves, of course, got a bit of a long trip home in the evening on Sunday. Wolves having a fantastic victory against Manchester United yesterday evening. Of course, we're not including those in the point score this week. That'll be in next week's video. So I think they're going to cancel themselves out. Watford have had a brilliant season as well as Wolves. I think it's going to end in 1-1, but I think, and I've got a feeling, that Watford are going to nick this one in extra time, 2-1.
I disagree with you, actually. I think it's going to be 1-1 most of the match, but I think Wolves are actually going to steal it just before extra time. Nuno is just going to go all-out attack. Maybe a Jota goal, maybe a Jimenez goal.
Yeah, they've been fantastic, haven't they?
Fantastic. Yeah, what Wolves just going to scrape over the line at the last minute. I think it's going to be 2-1 to Wolves.
Excellent. Okay. Once again, I'm going to leave a template of these fixtures for the Premier League anyway. Feel free to join in the fun for predicting the FA Cup semi-finals as well. But yeah, I'm going to leave a template of the fixtures in the description. All you need to do is copy and paste them into your comment, and like David Redgrift last week or this week, you too can get a shout out in the next video. Now before we go, Nathan, before we go and watch Cardiff play Manchester City and edit this video, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Sub to my channel, link in description, and watch the Chelsea video.
Superb, excellent. But for now guys, thanks for watching as always, thanks for your support, and we'll see you in the next video.